Morning. Have Gravy Bones game, and we're just trying to decide what we actually board in for him. Is good. Kind of want the sink belows. A little blue and take those. There's a couple of earth forms in the board at the moment that I'm testing out, and I have boarded them in because I want things to bludgeon Gravy Bones and his minions over the head with, basically. Also trying my ongoing attempts at Talishar because it feels fairly good into his minions as a way of one card removing some stuff. I'll take this as a turn one goodness. Like, so I now know he's got a conqueror. Taken his only point of block away. Equipment. I'm loving that he's on null rune free. Genuinely, like, I just don't care about it. For the most part, I'll be busy finning his minions. I think with most of the arcane damage. Trying to deal with that shit. Kill the chums. The extra point of damage from that swing because I want the earth card in the bin more than I want point of life. Because I want my decompose on fast into him to clear out the one damage guys. It's kind of super important. It's one damage bullshit at some point, but I don't know when. It's really just all about selecting the best things you can to I like conquering that it's balanced, to be honest. It's obviously, I almost think you should board it out into Verdance because it's really unlikely I have anything in my inventory in my arsenal that you can ever hit. Sometimes, but like it's so often me storing a D react. I'm happy to take one from this. This is the good times for me. He's not making minions. I get to try and slug him around the head. Temptation to play the Ring of Roses and keep the Command and Conquer, but he's got an arsenal is the thing, and he's really bad at blocking. And if he blocks, he's probably skipping a turn because he's blocking with all his resources. This is like a pressure game for the most part. It's favoured for Gravy Bones, Plough Under's looking really bad, but it depends what he plays. Because like if it's something like Rigor Mortis, Plough Under attacking him is good times. Take the opportunity to get the extra point out of Stonewall. Stonewall. It's probably the only time I'm getting that. Happy to trade a little bit of straight damage with him not playing out here. Now we get some value. Just taking it. We're taking it because we're throwing the fruits at him. Blocking 4 or sending 7 is not a choice. Yes, but removing him would be Talor showering him. That means I've still got the fruits. I'd have to bin it for 2 life, which is not too bad. But I think I just swing for him. Obviously, I do just go straight face. I think the big 7s are the way at the moment. Like, Rigor Mortis is very efficient. I think it feels a little dirty with these guys. Basically, it's a 2-card 6. Next turn, it's like a 3-6, which is where it gets pretty brutal. Get some decompose on. Just accept the 1s because we have to block efficiently. Thing to them. Basically desperate to get the decompose on. The thing at the moment, basically, is that spending time clearing these is not actually worth it because he can swing them both at some point, but most turns he can't. So I'm much more comfortable just going to the head with big hits. Desperate to get this decompose up because that will help. Obviously. Second this back skin's on, it does more. The second my ability's on, it starts clearing all this kind of crap like Rigor Mortis just dies to Verdance things. It's a pretty big deal. They get there. They obviously get there by trying to race him. Block 7, send 6, took the arsenals. I'll lose my arsenal, but I can play my arsenal for 1 life. But, having a little dig here as well, basically, to see what we actually get. We're going to be swinging hard this turn because he's got a go again card, so it's just going to be the rigor mortis. Vague temptation there to maybe throw the pulsing ether. It'd have cost me my storm striders, which is a pain, but it would have ended this turn, and that might have been a really good choice. It's really hard to know when to do that. Very nice. For a lot. I mean, Gravy just gets some very big turns. You know, this is a 18 damage turn from. What's lagging? You know, 18, I think it was, he's swung for. Yeah, it's a lot of value. And that's partly because I'm not removing the minions, but like, you know, the complaint I always have about board state is that they have printed heroes, you know, Verdance and every single Guardian, that just do not have any go again. So, you know, what do you do? So we're online on Barkskin, that's going to matter a lot. We're online with the Plows and Fellings, that's going to matter a lot. I'm still sort of trying to race him, like he's not got any visible go again, which actually leaves me in a reasonably good place. I've obviously geared up this turn around the fact that I was going to have to do a decompose off a Plowunder, so you know, like deliberately playing out my Pulsar Ether for one life, knowing that the Ponder is going to refill the arsenal once I've done the. I think it was the sink below that found me that. You know, I'm kind of sculpting towards playing a turn, and at the moment I am very much making my choices around the idea that I'm just leaving these 6 damage beaters on the table and accepting my life. You know, it's not ideal. I'd love to clear them, but until my abilities on, I just don't really come with the ability to do so. You know, we can block them pretty well, and that's what we're doing. That's kind of the thing, right? So he's got board position, but he can only swing with one of them, so I can kind of ignore them all at the moment. They don't do that much compared to, you know, like I am actually swinging for nearly as much damage as he is on the turn. I kind of love it when they play things like Loot the Hold. You know, the the if it hits thing, I'm going to block it. I'm not going to let that sick through if I can help it. I'm probably going to try and 2-card block it. So it's kind of me just getting 3 cards. I'm pretty glad on that front. We've got another freeze. We've got 2 Scaldings and a back skin, so I feel like I can just block all this turn without problem. Big man, but he already has big men. So what do I care? Who's turning? Yeah, do your worst, Gravy. Keep making the big guys, but you don't get anything off it. And I got to keep a 3-card hand there, which is a big deal. Because this Emeritus Scalding is potentially lethal depending what he decides to do. I think he definitely doesn't know how that works. I think he thought that I'd redirected onto him because he has blocks. This was my thinking here, assuming that this had gone properly with blocking, is he was on 7, right? He's probably blocking 6 of it, swinging back with the tipple, and at the point he swings back, also he's not getting anything out of it, so we just kind of go into that loop where we're just trading 6s, and I win that loop eventually. And then eventually this Scalding just goes to the face when I try to close. I've got no use out of the Talishard this game, but that is what it is. Maybe Moon would have been better into him. This is definitely mostly a Prism card, but it does some work into Gravy and I've been wanting to try it out, which is why it's here. As I say, there's nothing revolutionary, I think, in terms of what I'm playing into him. We're just say there's some Earth form, basically. I've been trying them out because it is one of our better cards. It doesn't block well, but it's a really, really good 7. A really good 7. It can get about 9 value up. I love the card. I think we sleep on it a bit as Verdance, and the problem is that it's a 2-block. If Earth form was a 3-block, it would be in every single deck, which is the story of most of the Earth cards. It's kind of an interesting thing where people talk about the Earth pool. Earth decks are good. Florian was good. Verdance is good. I think Jarl is perfectly good. He's not as good, but he's good. What Earth doesn't do is play 80% of its card pool because it's a 2-block. And maybe that's fine. I'm not saying the Earth card pool should be... I'm not saying Earth should be stronger. It doesn't need to be stronger. I think what I'm sad at is how much variety is missing. How all the cool cards, how Earth's Embrace, I think it's called, just cannot be played because it's a 1-cost card that blocks for 2 and gives you an embodiment sometimes. If that card blocked 3, it'd be in every deck, and then you'd actually see some cool tricks with it played. This is the case of everything, right? You'd see more Earth forms if there were 3-block. You'd see more just everything. The fact is that we have access to the 3-blocks. So we're running the Heartbeats. We're running Arcane Twinning. This card is shit. Like this is filler. This is like if they give us another blow, this is coming out. But you know, it's in there because because mechanically we needed something that does an arcane damage and it's blue and free block and cost 0, and that's the criteria for a whole load of things in this deck. If Heartbeat blocked 2, I don't think we'd run it. If it's true of many cards. I think Felling is the only card in this deck that would be safe if it blocks 2, because it's so good, and everything else is kind of mediocre. Like, just thoughts on the whole blocking thing. But I think this game went pretty well. I'm not sure the Gravy was playing optimally, mostly with the fact that he fluffed this chum thing at the end, so I'm thinking he maybe didn't know how it played. I think dropping 3 null room pieces into Verdance is a big mistake, because I just don't arcane you, right? I just start beating you around the head for 7 over and over and going, great, you have no equipment. And it's not just having no block, it's not having dead threads and whatever other crap Gravy normally runs. I genuinely don't remember his equipment. It does stuff, but I don't care what it does that much, especially when he doesn't have it. So yeah, interesting game. I'll see you in the next one.